Hello, I'm Dr. Razor. Welcome to the 5-Minute Thinker, where we spend just 5 minutes thinking about the deeper questions of life. What is one thing dogs and Autopens have in common? If compatibilism or Calvinism is true, they have free will in common. How so, you ask? Well, let's find out. The question of human free will has confounded thinkers for centuries. What is it exactly? One view, known as the Calvinist view or the compatibilist view, says that free will is, quote, the ability to do what you want to do and are not coerced or restricted from doing what you want to do. We can see that this definition of free will entails two basic ideas. First, the ability to do what you want to do, and secondly, unrestricted from doing what you want to do. To get a better understanding of this, take an example. Say I'm sitting on a chair in a room with one door. If I want to leave the room and do in fact leave the room, it is said that I have free will to leave that room. I wanted to leave the room and nothing restricted me from doing so. However, if I desired to leave the room, but someone either tied me to the chair or locked the door, then it would be said, I do not have free will to leave the room. I was restricted in my action to leave, and so I have in no way the ability to do so, and so I don't have free will. But is this a good definition of free will? One helpful way in which we can figure this out is by using a thinking tool to help us evaluate the definition. It's called reduction to the absurd. This is when we take a definition or even an argument and are able to disprove it by, quote, showing an absurdity to which it leads when carried to its logical conclusion. In other words, if I can give an absurd example that fits this Calvinist definition of free will, then the Calvinist definition of free will is false or at least insufficient. This is where dogs and Autopens come in. Look at my wonderful, cute puppies. They are doing what they want to do, and no one's restricting them. Their actions fit the Calvinist definition of free will. Therefore, logically speaking, Calvinism would have to affirm that dogs, and in fact all animals, have free will. But this seems rather absurd. Do animals really have free will? Even more interesting, take a look at this Ghost Rider Autopen. It is doing what it wants to do. In fact, doing what it can only do, namely what it has been designed to do. Moreover, nothing is restricting it from doing what it wants to do. As such, logically speaking, Autopens have free will, according to the Calvinist definition of free will, as doing what it wants to do and being unrestricted. Amazing! Autopens have free will. But surely, isn't this absurd? Well, of course it is. This particular Calvinist definition of free will, therefore, is insufficient and it's false. This definition of free will needs to be jettisoned or refined greatly because logically it leads to the absurd conclusion that objects and animals have free will, that which only humans are said to have. So what is free will exactly? Well, that's a good question, but that's for another episode. For now, remember, if you can reduce a definition, argument, or concept to an absurdity, there is something wrong with your thinking.